See what I can do.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Anna Kingus. I'm the project manager for the police station project. I just want to give you a little bit of background information on this process and then introduce the two teams that will be presenting today. So in late December, we issued a request for proposals for design build teams for the police station. We had 4 teams respond to that, and in mid-February, we scored those qualifications and interviewed actually all 4 of the teams. And we scored them based on their qualifications, considering their background information, their previous experience, key personnel and subconsultants on their team, the description of their design approach, and their demonstration of the project understanding. This afternoon, we are hearing from the top 2 teams, and again, we chose those based on qualifications after review of their statement of qualification book and after their interviews. So the teams that you'll be hearing from today are Penzel, Holland, FGM, and Dilly Traxel, and Kiefner, Chiodini, GGA. Each team will have 20 minutes to present, and then there will be 20 minutes for question and answer at the end. I do ask that you hold your questions until the end so that we can stay on time. Keep in mind that we are not here to review floor plans or site plans. We're here to look at their qualifications. Okay? So with that, this is Phil Penzel.
Good afternoon. My name is Phil Penzel, owner of Penzel Construction. On behalf of our design team, I would like to thank Mayor Rediger and the City Council, the selection committee, the municipal staff, and the Cape Girardeau Police Department and their staff for this opportunity to be a finalist and to present to you our plan for the new police and municipal court facility. I'd like to congratulate Kiefner Brothers. I applaud the city for selecting 2 local finalists. By doing so, you will ensure that the public money spent on this project will be reinvested back into our community. Joining me this afternoon is Ron Glazer of Holland Construction Services. Holland Construction will serve as our strategic design build partner and will assist us in pre-construction services, ensuring that the expectations of scope, budget, and schedule can and will be met. Brett Dilly is the principal architect and owner of Dilly Traxel, and they are also a member of our design build team. Operating out of their Cape Girardeau office, they will be our lead architect and our architect of record. Penzel Construction and Dilly Traxel have completed several projects together, which include Liberty Utilities Northern American Headquarters, which is a design build project, as well as the Department of Public Safety and the Board of Municipal Utilities, both in Sykeston. Finally, we have in the back Louise Kowalczyk of FGM Architects. Louise specializes in municipal architecture and functional police facilities. FGM is our strategic project design architect who performed the space needs study for this project. With FGM on our team, we will be able to get a jump on the design, save time on research, and have another set of experienced eyes on this project, which will help us maintain focus on the end goal by providing the most facility for the budget. From the moment that this project was advertised, we worked hard to put together the strongest team that we could assemble. Our team consists of behind-the-scenes team members that are not present today, but they are equally as important. They are listed on this PowerPoint as well as a handout that we will pass out later. Our site superintendent will be David Marigot, who has over 33 years experience with Pennzoil Construction and was the project supervisor for the Scott County Jail. He is familiar with the scope and challenges of this type of project. We commend the city for choosing design build for this project. Design build results in a streamlined, cost-effective process because there is only one contract to manage and one point of responsibility for the project. Another benefit of using design build is that Pennzoil Construction would be involved early on in the process, assisting the designers. This enables us to contribute ideas of means and methods, scheduled milestones, preliminary pricing for various building systems, and best construction practices. This would reduce the amount of time that it takes to complete the design, resulting in fewer revisions and quicker project completion. It is worth noting that Pennzoil Construction is a pioneer in design build, having performed design build projects as early as 1962. As for my credentials, I'm a registered professional civil engineer, as well as a design build professional certified by the Design Build Institute of America. I am the only person between St. Louis and Memphis with these credentials. Since I assumed ownership in 1996, we have completed 60 design build projects totaling more than $78 million in total value. 90% of these projects have been within a 30-mile radius of Cape Girardeau. Pennzoil Construction is currently building the Cape Girardeau Sportsplex as a design build project. During the design process, we were asked to maintain a specific budget, exactly like we will do on this project. Many of the initial wish list items that were deferred due to budget constraints have been added back into the project since we found savings in other areas. Our main goal is to deliver the highest quality project possible for the budget without sacrificing performance of this world-class facility. As for our experience constructing police facilities and municipal courts, we have listed them on the PowerPoint as well as the handout that we will hand out later in this presentation. A couple projects most notable on that list would include the Scott County Jail, built in 2003, and the Sikeston Department of Public Safety, which was completed in 2013. As you can see, the Pennzoil team has decades of experience constructing projects of size and complexity. I would now like to hand our presentation over to Ron Glazer of Holland Construction Services to discuss their role in this project. Ron?
Good afternoon. My name is Ron Glazer. I'm a Vice President of Pre-Construction for Holland Construction. And my role in this project will be basically doing pre-construction costing from these initial concepts through getting the first shovel in the ground. So as the design progresses, we'll be working on cost situations and working on different aspects all the way through. We're going to work very closely with the city and the design team. And we haven't even met with the city yet to get their input, but that's going to be very important in this process to make sure we understand what the goals and objectives for this facility are going to be, and that those design features get put in there at a budget that you all can afford and want to pay. So we work very closely and we test a lot of those elements that go into the project for cost, durability, all those types of things, and then allow you to make those decisions on what's the best value for you. We've got a pretty good array of cost history on these types of projects. We've done a lot of police facilities, municipal facilities. So we know roughly what these things cost. We're going to be working very closely with the local subcontractors and suppliers in the Cape Girardeau area and making sure we're getting their input on costs of different systems and really testing this thing all the way through so that we don't get down a road and find that we're over budget. I mean, we're going to know all the way through and make sure we're keeping the budget, in check. Basically, we'll do detailed cost estimates at every phase of the design, whether it's schematic, design development, construction drawings, do very in-depth, detailed estimates and check ourselves all the way through so that when this bids out to the submarket, we know what the numbers are going to be when they come in. So that's my role in the pre-construction. Holland is also very familiar with design build construction method. We've just completed or are currently working on 10 projects within the last 3 years that were all done in a design build mode. So we're very familiar with it, and we know Penzel is as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brett, and he's going to introduce you to our design team. Thanks.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon. My name is Brett Dilley, principal architect and owner of Dilley Traxel Architecture with offices in Poplar Bluff and here in Cape Girardeau. I've been a professional architect for almost 30 years now. I established Dilley Traxel with my partner, Ben Traxel, in Southeast Missouri about 14 years ago. We have an office here in Cape Girardeau with Craig Mildy as the director. He is here with us tonight also. Craig's a professional architect with over 25 years experience. He's a native of Cape County, and he has completed many design build projects over the years, and we're proud to have him as part of the team. Craig will play a key role throughout the project as the project manager and point of contact, and he will be here on site on a continual basis as required, which will be quite often throughout the project. I'd like to acknowledge my respect for Phil Penzel and how I truly appreciate the relationship we've built over the years. Phil has put together a team of professionals here that is quite impressive, to say the least. The enthusiasm and camaraderie from everyone involved has really been a pleasurable experience through this whole process. My role will be to work with the team as lead architect. Dilley Traxel will be the architect of record and coordinate closely with FGM architects, our strategic project architect with vast experience in programming and designing police stations and municipal courts. FGM's experience is a strong asset for the team as they have already provided quality work in the early analysis for your project that you all have been involved in. Dilley Traxel has worked with Penzel Construction on several projects over the years, such as Phil mentioned, Department of Public Safety project in Sikeston, which was approximately 38,000 square foot facility, 3-story facility with very similar project scope as the Cape Girardeau Police facility proposed here. It includes Sallyport, booking, holding cells and offices. It also includes 911 dispatch with multi-use space for EOC and training. It was a pleasure to work with the city of Sikeston and especially Chief Drew Juden throughout the design and construction. Very successful project we're all proud of. We also teamed with Penzel Construction on the Board of Municipal Utilities in Sikeston and Liberty Utilities headquarters. Dilley Traxel takes much pride working with our clients to help produce a facility that is equally balanced with function, technology, aesthetics, and budget. We understand the importance of providing quality control throughout the design every phase throughout the design. Quality control is complete importance throughout all phases. Our team has prepared 4 project concepts for the city to consider. I just want to emphasize these are concepts. Concept 1 is looking at the full program requirements, utilizing the existing building. Concept 2 is a reduced program, once again utilizing the existing building. We have a concept 3, which is the full program with a new building. And concept 4 is a reduced program with a new building. To fully explain these concepts, I would like to introduce Louise Kowalczyk of FGM Architects, and she will go over that for you. Thank you.
I'm Louise Kowalczyk with FGM Architects. I'm the design director for our municipal and recreation practice. We have offices in St. Louis, O'Fallon, Illinois, Oak Brook, and Chicago. We specialize in the design of public safety facilities, and we've done so for over 25 years. We do police, fire, and 911 facilities. FGM will be the design architect, myself, as well as Ray Lee and Brian Wright, who is at the helm back here. We'll work closely with Dilly Traxel. That's a role we're really familiar with. Oftentimes on projects, we'll partner with a local architect and be the design architect. We found in the initial concept planning that we work really well together. Our role is to use our experience in police facility design to help guide you through the design process. FGM completed the 2013 Space Needs Study for the police department, where we developed the program for the police department and municipal court. At that time, we were looking at reusing the site on Sprigg Street to accommodate the new station. During that study, we had the pleasure of working with Anna and both Chief Fields and Chief Blair, as well as other police department staff. Most recently, we completed the study to reconfirm the program and look at how the needs could be accommodated reusing the Naval Reserve Training Center at the Maria Louise property. So we're very familiar with the needs of the police department and the municipal court. We're very excited to be part of this team and look forward to continuing to work with the city and police department on this project. Up on the screen are some examples of our recent work. These are some stations that we've recently completed. 3 of them actually are renovation projects, and our hope is that you can't really distinguish which are renovations and which are new construction. Next slide, please. Also looking at some of our police specialty areas. Holding areas and booking areas are shown here. Those are very key components to the police department design. The safety of officers and detainees is a key component of those. Also, you'll see some evidence areas. It's also key to design those properly so that chain of custody is maintained. And then also the design of just the open office areas to promote collaboration. Next. And then we have some of our multi-use meeting type spaces. We've done many training rooms, boardrooms, courtrooms, and community rooms. Sometimes these are interchangeable, sometimes they're dedicated space. So working on the RFP was a great experience for us. Everyone's goal was to figure out how to give you the most and the best for your budget. The process was collaborative and a huge effort was put into it. We found that we all worked really well together. So as was mentioned before, we put together 4 design concepts. Please keep in mind these are really just concepts. They're not intended to be final, and a lot of input is required from the city yet. The goal of each of the solutions is to improve the efficiency and functionality of the police department and the municipal court. The key aspects that we've incorporated into each are clear separation of areas, direct access between the jail and the municipal court, separation of the municipal court and police department functions, and clear public wayfinding. We really want to make sure that the public feels welcome in this facility as well, and knows where to go when they get there. So design concept 1 is a solution that we developed for the study. It meets all of the program requirements. It basically consists of an extensive renovation to the existing building and a large addition. It has a separate police department entrance, lobby, and training room, and a separate municipal court public entrance, lobby, and courtroom. On the site plan, you can see the existing portion of the building and our new additions. It's got the police department entrance here, police department public parking, court entrance along the side with court parking there, and all of the staff and police department functions to the rear. On the floor plan component, you can again see the existing building, the police department entrance and lobby spaces, the training room, and we've developed all of the office type functions to fit within the existing building. And to the north, the large addition accommodates the much more specialized functions like evidence storage, scientific investigations, the jail, and the municipal court with its own entrance here and the direct connection between them. Next. So in the RFP, we were asked to look at cost-saving ideas to help you meet the budget. So we looked at reducing the program requirements so that the addition would be smaller. So what we did is, again, keep in mind these are just ideas, but our thought was to combine the lobbies for the police department and municipal court and do those as a combined space. So again, the existing building, here we just have one combined parking lot for public with access here. And again, all of the staff and police department areas would be to the rear. Again, utilizing the existing building for office type spaces and the additions for the more functional and secure spaces. Because there are some constraints working within the existing building, the layout is for the most part dictated by the existing structure. It's got low roof heights and the existing utilities would need to be moved, upgrades would need to be to the structure, et cetera. We wanted to look at the possibility of an entirely new building. So design concept 3 shows again a potential idea for that layout. We're still proposing to combine the court and police department entrances, and you can see that this gives us a much more regular footprint and thereby a more efficient structure. Within this, we would be proposing to meet the rest of the program. Design concept 4 is really just very similar, but again, trimming down the program in order to meet the budget with a new construction facility. Again, these are just our initial thoughts. We're excited to be part of this team and look forward to continuing to work with the city, police department, and municipal court to develop a cost-effective solution that meets your needs. And now I'm going to hand it over to Phil to wrap it up.
Thanks, Louise. Now that you've met our design build team, we hope that you find us to be the most qualified design and construction team that you could choose. This is your project. We are here to serve you all. We feel that our team is the best choice to advance your vision and to move forward based upon our vast experience with design, build, and municipal projects, our hand-picked team, which brings superior qualifications to the project, our proven track record, and our integrity and values through our open and honest project approach. The design, build, delivery method also has many advantages: a single contract, the power of the team, better cost control, and faster turnaround. With the strength and expertise of our team, we are confident that we will deliver a project that the city of Cape Girardeau would be proud of. We thank you for this opportunity, and good afternoon.
You're probably wondering why I called you all in here today, I suppose. Okay, we up? Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for this opportunity. City Council, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. And I also want to congratulate the Penzel team for making it this far. I know you put a lot of work into it, and you're good, stiff, honest competition. My name is Tom Kiefner. I'm the president of Kiefner Brothers Incorporated. We're a general contractor located right here in Cape Girardeau. And I reside in Cape Girardeau. I pay my taxes in Cape Girardeau, as does my brother and business partners and about half of our organization. So needless to say, we have a vested interest in this project and we would like to do it for you. You've laid out a pretty significant challenge in your initial space study program with your $11 million budget. And we feel that we've got some ideas where the square footage can be pared down and not only not damage the integrity of the program, but actually enhance the workability and the functionability of the police station, jail, and courts. I'm very excited about the team we put together. We put together a group of experts collectively with experience in those three disciplines, jails, police, and courts, with a resume that's a mile long. And well, you're going to hear from some of those guys here in a minute. But I just want to say that we believe that the key to making this project a success is the early collaboration with our team and the city, identifying exactly what the protocols are, what the needs are, and we're confident that we can come up with a plan that works for you and gets the project into the budget. With that, I want to introduce our key players, and our lead designer is Chiodini Architects, and I want Chris Chiodini to introduce himself, and then the rest of the team can come up.
Again, I'd like to thank you for having us here. We appreciate the opportunity. I'm Chris Chiodini with Chiodini Architects. We're headquartered in St. Louis. My role on the project will be project director from beginning to end of the project. So I'm responsible for working directly with Kiefner for project schedule, costs, and overall control and manpower on the project.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Redstone. I'm a law enforcement architect. I've been in business a long time, and I've been personally involved in over 50 police and law enforcement agency projects.
I'm Lawrence Goldberg, the Senior Principal of Goldberg Group Architects. I've had a practice in St. Louis and now in St. Joseph, Missouri for 35 years, 30 of which have been in criminal justice work. To date, we have completed the design of 221 criminal justice and jail projects in 26 states. I want to introduce, who's this? Joe Weber, our criminologist, himself a retired jail administrator. Joe, say a couple words.
That's something when you just get limited to 2 words. Already overrun it, haven't I? Okay, my name's Joe Weber. My firm name is Weber and Associates. I provide a lot of law enforcement type support from post-approved or state-approved training, policy review, regular consultation operations. With this particular project, as it nears completion, I would be one of the guys that would try to make your building work for you, which means there would be some training and transition in place with your team to get you into the building and get it fully operational. I also look at liability issues. I am an expert witness for Missouri Public Entity Risk Management, MOPERM, an insurance company that insures many jurisdictions throughout the state. So that's what my functions would be in this process.
And to see if it works or not, it's sort of tough when you're short, let me adjust this. 17 or 18 years ago, I had the great pleasure and privilege of working with this gentleman, Tom, and his great crew in building the Cape Girardeau County Law Enforcement Center for you all, for Sheriff John Jordan. And as recently as this week, Joe has been working with John on various staffing and procedural issues that arise 18 years later. So we don't give up on any of these projects. They're a work in progress always.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Lozecki. I am the project manager with Chiodini Architects. Experience-wise, up in the St. Louis area, I was the project manager for the Maryland Heights Police Headquarters, which is part of their government center, which we completed a couple years back. Locally, I was a project manager for St. Mary's Catholic Church, where we did some master planning for them. I did their church renovation and their school addition, which won a historic preservation. Thank you.
Well, I'm Philip Kiefner with Kiefner Brothers. I'd be the project manager for the project. My job would be to work with Paul early in the design process, the submittal phase, as well as being the day-to-day correspondence with our site superintendent. So.
Hi, I'm Daryl Case. I'm with Edifica Case Engineering. We do the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, and structural. Pretty much everything inside the building except the architecture. We've been in business for 20 years. Our recent projects include a courthouse for the county of St. Charles, a police and fire station for the city of St. Charles, and under construction right now is a police station for the city of Belleville, Illinois.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out the integral working together of all the teams that we have here. We've all worked substantially. We're currently working with Redstone on the Sedalia Police Department, the University Police Department study, and we're as well working on the Wentzville City Hall and City of Ladue fire stations with Edifica Case. We believe Kiefner's the premier commercial and institutional contractor here in Cape Girardeau. I think a lot of the hospital work, the technicalities and the delivery process for those stand out alone. As everybody's indicated, significant duration and tenure of the teams that we have. These are lists of municipal public safety work for Chiodini, for Redstone Architects, GGA Architects. And then I think quickly some Cape familiarity. Again, we know the significance of the architecture that Kiefner Brothers has brought to Cape Girardeau. Chiodini, again, with our familiarity with St. Mary's on 3 projects in a row. GGA, as Larry mentioned, has done the Cape County Jail with Kiefner. And it did.
The case is done with the addition to the Snooks project. I keep hearing a contractor on that. We've also recently done a 7-story addition to the Biofield and worked on some seismic design for Chateau.
I think our process and approach, as was indicated earlier, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done with getting together with the city, the police staff, and everybody and working out the exact needs. It's a collaborative process. It's a collaborative balance between cost and scope. We need to vet the existing space needs analysis. As Tom was indicating, we believe that the program can be met in less square footage. And we want to maintain a competitiveness through the process. We haven't picked design build team members at this time. We're looking at fully engineering the project with input from significant subcontractors in the Cape Girardeau area. We want to keep the competitive nature of the process from the beginning until we bid the project. We believe the design build approach will allow us to fast track the construction and expedite the schedule. We like the design build approach because as opposed to design bid build, where we get to spend months with the drawings, the contractor only gets to spend a couple of weeks with the drawings. In the design build approach, our whole team will work hand in hand from the very beginning to the very end of the project. So design build, integrated project delivery, again, in both systems, you're working hand in hand from the very beginning of the project. At Chiodini, we've done design build across the country, from municipal projects to federal nuclear regulatory security projects, to public stations and public radio stations and university projects. I think schedule, this is the most important part of the project schedule. Vetting the existing space needs analysis, sitting down, verifying scope, matching budget, and working through that's going to be the key to this project. Once more, we believe we can deliver this project in early 2018. I think comparatively with 3 very recent projects that we've done, you can see the size of the commissioned officers and full-time civilian officers of the Cape Girardeau Police Department. Maryland Heights City Hall, that was a government center, so total was 67,000 square feet. Police alone was 32,000, so right under 33,000 square feet. Construction cost of about $235 a square foot. Bridgeton City Hall, the same. Police alone was 33,000 square feet. University City, again, the commission and full-time officers are very similar, as about 38,000 square feet. You will notice some differences here. The main differences in scope are size of the municipal court, size of the jails, if communications and dispatch is included in the facilities. The red numbers over here, you can see once we establish the initial or vet the existing space needs analysis, our work's not done. We've achieved significant efficiencies on both of these projects, working down from the initial space needs analysis. That's part of our job, is to make this project as efficient as possible.
Let me mention one thing. The importance here is that these happen to be 3 police facilities. They're almost exactly the same as your officer staff and your civilian staff. This is why we're confident in being able to achieve an area reduction. They have all the same elements that you have in your present program.
And I think this is Maryland Heights Government Center and Police Headquarters. Again, these slides are just to show the quality of the facilities, the look of the facilities. This is the interior of Maryland Heights. Bridgeton Government Center. And this shows we're working currently on the Wentzville City Hall. This project was initially programmed by another architect at 54,000 square feet. And we did not see the initial program. Our initial program came in at 51,000 square feet. Right now, we've driven that down going into CDs to 42,000 square feet. Again, I believe it's about a 16 or 18% reduction in the program scope. This is an example of that. They started out with offices, just tons of offices. We've showed them the efficiencies they can gain. You can't really see it in this plan, but this building that we're moving forward with is about 20 feet shorter than the initial building because of the program efficiencies that we've been able to realize. Most importantly, there's really 3 components to a police station. You've got administrative, police, courts, prisoner processing, and holding. You can see what we're looking at, hard construction cost, which is really almost a bid number. But you can see what we would see here, 18% soft cost. That includes all of our fees, permitting if it's required, FF&E, furniture, fixture, and equipment. And here you can see that when we bring these up to a total program budget of where we would see these costs lying, we believe there's about and this would be St. Louis numbers, we believe there's about an 8% reduction in cost here in Cape Girardeau. If we use those numbers and the square footages that we saw in the other 3 police stations, very recent police stations, we believe that the facility can be between 33 and 38,000 square feet. If you look at the $11 million budget, looking at a total program budget per square foot is somewhere between 334 and 290, right in line with the numbers that we've seen above and on the previous projects. This is just a quick, Dan, do you want to?
Sure.
Right.
This is the plan that was in the study, and I'm just showing it because that's what it is. It's an existing building. I think one of the issues with an existing building is that it probably doesn't meet the building code requirements for an essential building. We've developed a concept by taking the building down at the Armory building, creating a, so one of the key issues and the exciting part about law enforcement building is to create an efficient and secure police department operation, because these officers need to be secure and have I don't want to say secrecy, but they have confidential information every day, whether it's computers or on their desks, so they need to be secure. So what we've done is create a block of about 36,000 square feet to show some adjacencies and relationships. It starts with limiting and securing the public from the operations side. So we have a lobby which we're going to accommodate both the court and the detective bureau. Those are in terms of wayfinding, coming in from the parking lot to the entry of the building is about the only wayfinding we really want. We don't want the public walking through the operational section of the police department unless they're escorted by an officer. So what do people come to the police department for? To go to court, to fill out a report, to get a report, to be interviewed by an officer or detective, which we do up here in front. So we're limiting the public here. On the site, we're limiting the public to the front of the building, and we have a site plan later. We've got secure parking in the back, the Sally Port, the court, police, the patrol operations, the training room is very important. There's so much new training going on today that we've maintained that in the program.
One thing I would mention is that if you notice the difference between the plan that you just showed and the previous plan, that was one of the concepts here, is that there's a simplicity that is much beyond this one. And I think it's much more simplified in circulation, and the security is very secure.
So the green are the security,
It's a very simple plan, but it's
the
a very
operational
effective-
secured circulation area.
It's a very effective plan.
And I want to say one other thing before, Larry. The second part of a new police and law enforcement center court is it has to be attractive and inviting to the public. In today's conflicts all over the country, we want the public to feel welcome and to the facility, whether it's the court or coming to fill out a report or whatever. So we do that by creating, again, a lobby, a design, we'll see some aesthetics later on, of welcoming, integrating Cape Girardeau's public policy to its citizens.
I'll be brief. On the left, you have a 30-bed police station lockup that we are planning right now out in Kansas. On the right, you have the portion of the plan that's been presented previously. The right has a linear corridor plan. The left is a fourth-generation radiopodular. The problem with Cape Girardeau's lockup portion of this is, one, it's the most expensive part of the project, but two, it's the one that needs to be the most flexible. In point of fact, if you have local, state, federal prisoners, if you're holding them for less than 10 hours, you got 25 square feet. Greater than that, you have 80 square feet. If you hold them longer than that, then you need activity, you need day room space, because it's acting ipso facto as a jail, not just a intake or lockup. These are the kinds of things that have to be paid attention to. And you'll notice in the middle, we've denoted a control with direct visual control, literally over every single portion of the facility around it. This is a mini jail, okay? But in point of fact, that if you get under 300 gross square feet per bed, this is 273, about 8,200 square feet, then you're hitting a level of efficiency we need to hit. and we're doing it here. You'll notice on the lower left is indoor, outdoor activities, so literally you can handle any type of prisoner.
These are just some images that we saw, some elevation developed that we help people with, our clients with visualization. I think our graphics are among some of the best in the country. The programs that we use, interior graphics, is really help our clients understand how the facility is going to look, how it's going to operate. I think quickly in summation here, we know vetting is going to be a main part. Collaboration. We still haven't sat down with you to see exactly how you want to work this facility. We believe we can make it more efficient than what we've seen so far. Present alternatives. We'll vet everything with you. We're going to maintain competition. We feel we can fast track this project. And again, we'd have weekly design and construction coordination meetings. Paul and myself and everybody on this team, principals involved, will be involved from beginning to end, from design and programming through the end of construction administration. And again, we appreciate the opportunity. I'll let Tom wrap up here real quick.
Thank you, Chris. With Kiefner Brothers, you pretty well, what you see is what you get. We will handle all of the pre-construction on the estimating side, the budgeting side. We will build the building, and we'll do all the construction management. We've been around a long, long time. We're several generations old, and we expect to be around a few more generations. So, hopefully, if you choose us, somewhere down the line, some Kiefner will say, we built that decades ago, and that police station is still fine quality. It's still functioning, and it's still serving the great community of Cape Girardeau. We really thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to the Q&A session. Thank you so much.
So I guess if the other team wants to come up here too, and then anybody can ask questions, not just council. So anybody from the public that has questions for the two teams, feel free to speak up.
Don't put your hands up at once. My name is Dave Evans. My hobby is HVAC. You guys, either one of you teams, are you going to form a trade-off analysis between the thermal envelope and the HVAC system?
Yes, we design buildings sustainably. I would speak to both teams at this point. And that's very much a part of what we look at being able to run a project. So we think the building envelope is created by the architect. It has to meet certain codes for energy usage. And then we look at what type of HVAC we put in that building. And then we do a cost analysis to make sure we have the best for the whole life of the building. You build a building for 5 years, you design one system. You build it for 100 years for a whole building, you're going to design a part.
And then that'll detail the yearly cost of utilities to,
yes, I can't tell you that we're going to go out for the nickel, but yes, we would do it at dollar cost and return on investment for both systems before we make a full decision.
I might add, Daryl, that one of the things that we're doing, actually working together on Wentzville City Hall, is basically Daryl's company basically produced 4 systems choice for the console. Identify the cost both for the maintenance, the continued maintenance, as well as the initial cost. Some cost more initially, some cost less to operate. And they were given really 4 options of how to study this, or how the presentation was made. And I think it was very effective for them to make a selection.
did any of the projects have utilized ground source heat pumps in this size of facility?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've done a 5-story building in all one of the ground sources.
And then you used insulated masonry cavities, ICF.
We used the ICF on St. Mary's Edition.
Oh, you used ICF on St. Mary's?
Yes.
And that will be part of the trade-off if I see a,
Sure, we would look at all the pieces, it's not just look at the HVAC. Like you said, it's the installed cost, it's the cost of equipment. When you choose 4 different systems, you've got 4 different costs of equipment, but then how much does it cost to operate each of those systems?
one last question, not HVAC, but we're in seismic zone B2. In the old building, to renovate that, will you have to add any seismic reinforcements to meet code?
Yes, our recommendation is.
Oh.
You can't answer all the questions, sorry. All right. We have done an extensive study on that, and I want to show you exactly why we converted over to the idea of changing out the existing building and going with a total new building. I just wanted to show you what it's going to affect. Now, we've got these codes that we've got to meet. So we have gone in here and designed what it's going to take to upgrade these walls of that existing building. It's pretty expensive structural steel, and you're going to have to be looking at that for the rest of its life. And it's very expensive to install this type of system. So we looked at the possibility of getting rid of the old building and starting with a clean slate and using new materials and the new technologies that are out there for the thermal envelope. And I would like to add one other thing on the HVAC. We looked at the similar system that we put in the Liberty Utilities project. First of all, we put a mezzanine embedded in the center of the Liberty Utilities building. And that acted as a kind of a cocoon, kind of a safety area for your operation. And on top of that mezzanine, we installed a 4-pipe system where, because you're going to, in a building this size, you're going to have temperature variations throughout that whole building. You're going to have comfort zones that are going to be fine in the morning and not fine in the afternoon. So we felt that a 4-pipe system would be a good option to be able to zone the area, especially the areas down in the center of the core after the sun goes on the other side of the building in the afternoon.
That brings up another point.
Yeah, we had done the study for University City Police, and that's why we did not investigate a renovation for this project. Renovation to essential services criteria privacy would be at least twice as expensive per solution.
I want to come at it just really quickly. We do modular steel cells here at Chase, so all the utilities are above the slab and accessible. The fact is we pioneered the way these steel boxes are welded together so that they become, in effect, enormous box girders. The reason we care is because earthquakes from the bottom of the building versus wind loads, tornadoes from the top of the building. This allows you to shelter in place the inhabitants of the jail portion, the inhabitants of the building, without having to relocate prisoners, God forbid, in the event of an oncoming event.
One of the questions we've started with is jail capacity. And one of the things I know is the discussion is modularity. If you have capacity to add to the jail later, depending upon population growth and so on. So I wonder if both teams could speak to what your designs accommodate you in that.
Well, if we were going, we gave 4 concepts. So obviously the smaller concepts would be designed for expansion in the future. And we try to compartmentalize each section in order to be able to expand in the future, especially the jail areas, holding areas. We're looking at the possibility of having like a precast top on it and being able to utilize some of that area in the future possibly. We already know that there could be enough space to have an upstairs.
such as mechanical. So why not be able to possibly do that with the holders across?
But you're absolutely right. During the whole programming process, that was really one of the hardest things to identify is what should the capacity of the jail be? On the 2013 study, we did an exhaustive analysis of all of the records, and it came up with, at that point, a capacity of 50 beds. Doing the reprogramming, we studied it further and we really trying to start to tighten things up. We landed at 40. But there's certainly the opportunity to design the jail area with a smaller capacity now and design it in such a way that it could be added on to and expanded as needed.
Typically, that's how we would design most any building, specifically this building, is keeping in mind any future expansion, future growth, not only the cells themselves, but the administration. There's a lot of other areas of the building that we need to really keep an eye on in the programming stage for expansions. Through the whole process.
There is some future growth already planned into the program in a lot of the office areas, because sometimes that's a hard area to expand because you don't know exactly where you're going to need it, as opposed to the jail area where you know that that's a designated area and you can just expand upon it. So there is some future growth built into the program already.
When we do a jail and we're looking at custody analysis, classification, not just the number of beds, but the type of beds. Often what we'll do is we'll build in additional capacity within the existing facility through, let's say, shell with future pods. And the kinds of things that make this possible are direct access utilities and other things. No one's mentioned the PLC, programmable logic control system. It will be modularized so it can be expanded. We're not going to another system, we're revamping or interrupting operations that are already there. So there's a number of things that we do so you can add not only incrementally but wholesale in terms of short, medium, and long-term expansion.
And I think in terms of just even custody, for one custody, that we've looked at some of the plans that have been provided. And if there is going to be longer term custody, Larry's looked at it once in each of, you've got central control, you've got day rooms, you've got activity areas. So those all play in depending on the custody type, custody length. You also have the staffing.
And I think the other issue is within that $11 million context, as we go through the programming and planning stage, if we find that we can't do it all at one time, then we can plan for a future phase of an addition, whether it be the lockup area or the administrative area, depending on what your officer growth might be. We plan for that now so that it's an easy add later. I mean, nothing's easy later, it's cost more money. But the 11 million is really the controlling factor here today. So we do want to plan for flexibility in the future, but again, it's within that context of the fixed budget.
Our approach on that is to give the absolute most that we can give you for that. We are doing that right now with the city on the sports complex. We are giving, making sure we design the absolute most that we can fit in. Has either team increased the capacity of an existing jail that was designed to support additional beds? Has either team done that?
Just up the road, we did the Jefferson County Jail and a law enforcement center in 1986 to 88. In 2006, we came back. The sheriff and the juvenile offices moved into an office across the parking lot. And we took all of those offices which had been planned so that it could become minimum security modules. And we literally, for $3.4 million, increased that jail's capacity entirely within the envelope by 152 beds.
And we're working, Larry and ourselves are working with St. Charles County Department of Corrections right now in the existing jail downtown. It kind of gets into the customization of programming for clients. Their initial RFQ was for a $650,000 medical upgrade and central control. When we met with everybody, we toured the facility. There was so much that facility needed. We talked with them,
They ended up hiring us for a master plan for the overall facility. We're looking at increasing the capacity of that jail by about 400 beds with a life expectancy of over 20 to 25 years, so that they would not have to go out for a future bond issue. $30 to $60 million jail facility.
An overall price tag of $14.5 million instead of finding 10 acres and spending 50 or 60 or 70 million.
What's the timetable on the decision?
Well, we're gonna evaluate this and then sit down and our team will meet. And if we have any questions, then we will get back with them and talk to them regarding that before we make a recommendation back to the council. But we want to make it pretty quick. But until the team meets, hard for us to really commit to a time frame as such. We don't anticipate a long time frame. Yeah, similar. And then the next step would be that we would ask council to allow us to have a chosen that we would then sit down with and work through the negotiations of what that looks like. And then the remaining would be the on deck, we can't reach an agreement with the one that we can go deal.
And we do have a handout, understood that you guys haven't seen our previous materials, so our handout has the original SOQ, the original presentation, and this presentation. And in the handout, you'll see several letters from mayors and chief of police in there. I think it's important that you know that we perform like we were intending to do. I think that's really very important.
Of the four options that Denzel, I think, presented, do those all fit within the 11 million budget, or does?
No, two of them don't, but two of them do.
Okay. And then,
May I deal with that one? We've not had the opportunity to sit down with the city and discuss specifics. We know what the initial work program and square foot study was. We know that there's some work to be done to pare the square footage down, but still maintain the majority of the program and not compromise the building in any way. So we know there's a $11 million budget. We know there's a pretty good sized appetite of the program, but we want the opportunity to sit down with the city and work those two parameters together. And we think we can do it. Our proposal is predicated on tearing down the old building and starting with a new facility.
And just a reminder, we are here to look at qualifications and choose a team based on qualifications, somewhat our approach, but then it's afterwards we sit down and have those discussions that lead to a contract that is their promise that they will deliver a certain program for the budget. So that's where we end up. So they're right. There's a lot of discussion yet to happen, and our focus here is to say which is the team we want to work with first. See if we can come up with that, and then the other one, the second one, the first one doesn't work out.
Well, I think, go ahead. I just wanted to emphasize the four concepts that we were talking about are truly concepts. And, there's much more programming and fine tuning the program and going back and forth.
Collaboration with the city.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. I'd like to thank the Pencil team and the Keeper team. It's great to know we have two teams that we're very familiar with the names, Pencil and Keeper. And I'm sure we'll come out of this. We've got a very specific budget, and our staff will be working closely with both of these teams in the near future. The timing, it's quick, but thorough. So glad that the public that came and media to attend this. We want to keep this as open as possible as we go on, just as we did with the sports complex. So Thank you, teams, for the presentation. And best wishes as you start negotiating and working with that. And we're going to begin our study session here in about 3 minutes.